Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Niccolò Machiavelli. They think power is loud. They think it's in speeches, in shouts, in the rattling of swords. They're wrong. Real power moves in silence. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't explain. It simply arrives, and the world bends around it. When you learn to make people fear you without opening your mouth, you stop playing their game and force them into yours. This isn't charm. This isn't charisma. This is the art of becoming a shadow that weighs on their chest, even when you're not in the room. You will learn to weaponize the things they underestimate: your stillness, your eyes, your timing. You will become unreadable, untouchable. When you walk into a room, their instincts will react before their logic catches up. They won't know why their throat tightens, why they choose their words more carefully, why they avoid locking eyes with you for too long. That's because you'll master the kind of presence that feels like a storm you can't see, but you know is coming. Understand this. Words can be argued. Words can be twisted, mocked, or ignored. But silence leaves no defense. It forces their mind to fill the gap, and the human mind will always fill that gap with its deepest fears. You won't need to tell them who you are. You'll let their imagination build something far bigger, far more dangerous. And once it's built, you will never need to destroy it. They will do that to themselves. If you're ready to step into that level of control, I want you to comment this right now. My silence is my sword. Because once you understand what's coming in the next 10 steps, you'll never waste another word proving your worth again. 1. The predator's silence. A predator doesn't roar before it strikes. It doesn't warn its prey. It doesn't announce its hunger. It waits. It studies. It closes the gap without a sound. You must become that predator. When you choose silence over unnecessary speech, you strip your enemies of something vital: predictability. They can't measure you. They can't read your angle. They can't prepare. And in that uncertainty, fear grows like mold in a locked room. Silence is not weakness. It is the absence of waste. Every word you don't speak saves energy for a move that matters. The weak talk because they fear being forgotten. The strong are remembered because they don't talk. Your stillness is an accusation without evidence, a shadow without a body. The less you reveal, the more they project. They will search your face for tells, for cracks, for humanity. And when they find none, they will invent something worse. That invention will be darker, sharper, more dangerous than you could ever claim for yourself. You will feed their imagination with nothing, and nothing is terrifying. You must learn to master the pause. Not the polite pause of a conversational game, but the kind that swallows the air, the kind that makes them fidget, the kind that forces them to fill the silence with nervous explanations, with confessions they didn't mean to give. You don't even have to push. They will walk themselves into the trap. Every predator knows, let the prey run in circles until it's too tired to fight. From this moment, you speak only when you decide, not when others invite. You will not be pulled into their tempo. You will not rush to fill their discomfort. You will become comfortable in silence while they drown in it. And when you do speak, it will cut like a blade because they will hang on every syllable. A single sentence will hit harder than 100 of theirs. If you understand this, if you're ready to strip the noise from your life and let your silence stalk the room before you do, comment this right now. My quiet is lethal. 2. The mask of impenetrability. Your face is your first betrayal. Every twitch, every shift of the eyes, every tightening of the jaw is a window into your mind. Close that window. Seal it shut. A Machiavellian player never gives his enemies a readable surface. They may look, but they will see nothing. You will be there, physically present, yet your expression will remain unchanging, your emotional weather hidden behind steel. The less they can read, the more they guess. And the more they guess, the more mistakes they make. The goal is to become untouchable not by force, but by mystery. Let your eyes see without showing recognition. Let your mouth move only for the words you've chosen, not the reflexes they provoke. Even in moments of insult, victory, or loss, your face should remain the same mask. This is not coldness for the sake of cruelty. It is strategy. When they can't confirm whether they've won or lost in your eyes, they remain locked in uncertainty. And uncertainty breeds obsession. You must train this in the small moments. When someone tries to provoke you, breathe. When they expect laughter, give them stillness. When they expect anger, give them nothing. Every time you refuse to feed their need for reaction, you reclaim power. Understand, reaction is a form of surrender. If they can see they've reached you, they've won. So you build your fortress in plain sight. An impenetrable mask does more than protect you. It turns you into a mirror. People will see in you what they fear most, or what they desire most, and they will act accordingly. This gives you leverage without you lifting a finger. They will project their stories onto you, and in doing so, they reveal themselves while you reveal nothing. That is the highest form of control. From this point forward, you are not just a person in the room. You are a locked safe they desperately want to open, but can't. And in that frustration, they will bend themselves to fit your shape. Comment this now if you understand. I am unreadable, therefore I am untouchable. 3. Calculated presence. Power is not in being everywhere. Power is in being missed. The king does not walk the market daily. The general does not appear at every skirmish. The more common your presence, the less weight it carries. If you're always available, you become furniture, noticed but not respected. The Machiavellian mind understands this. Scarcity creates value, and value creates leverage. You must decide when and where you exist in their world. Every appearance should feel intentional, deliberate, almost ceremonial. You enter a room as if it's a battlefield. Your timing is not random. It is chosen for maximum disruption or maximum advantage. Arrive when the conversation has already taken shape, so your entrance tilts the gravity of the room. Leave before they've had enough of you, so your absence becomes the subject. This is the law of controlled hunger. Never give them all of you. Give them just enough to keep them waiting for the next moment. Calculated presence also means strategic invisibility. Sometimes your absence speaks louder than your arrival. Withdraw from situations where your influence would be diluted. Skip gatherings where your value would be mistaken for familiarity. Force them to ask, where is he? Why isn't he here? The mind invents answers, and those answers often exaggerate your power. Absence, when used sparingly, is an amplifier. Understand this. In power games, mystery outlasts memory. They will forget your words, but they will not forget the tension you create by being an unknown variable. This is why the predator is not always seen before the strike. It is why the storm clouds gather before the rain. Your presence should arrive with purpose, linger with weight, and leave them with an unfinished sentence in their minds. From now on, you will move as if every step is chosen. You will not show up because you were invited. You will show up because it serves your game. And when you will leave on your terms, never theirs. Comment this now if you understand. My presence is a privilege they must earn. 4. Strategic eye contact. Your eyes are weapons. They can slash without moving, burn without speaking, command without sound. In the animal kingdom, predators don't look away. A lion locks its gaze on the prey, not to intimidate, but to claim it. Humans are no different. Most people can't handle prolonged eye contact without cracking because it forces them to feel seen, and most don't want to be seen that deeply. This is your advantage. The key is control, not constant aggression. A true Machiavellian gaze is measured. When you look, you do so with intent, not wandering, not fidgeting, not seeking approval. You anchor your gaze like it belongs there, as if you are reading their thoughts rather than reacting to their words. Hold it just long enough for discomfort to creep in, then release it slowly, like you've already taken what you needed. This tells them they don't control the tempo. You do. Direct eye contact paired with silence is a pressure chamber. People start talking more than they should, over-explaining, exposing vulnerabilities simply to break the tension you created. This is not confrontation. This is extraction. You are pulling information without asking for it. In negotiation, it makes them offer more. In conflict, it makes them reveal fear. In life, it makes them remember you. But be precise. The stare is not for every moment or every person. That's the mark of the insecure. Use it sparingly so its value stays lethal. Reserve it for key moments, when someone challenges you, when you're about to speak something decisive, or when you want silence to cut deeper than words. Your eyes should not wander in nervousness. They should move like a blade, choosing where to strike. From this moment, understand that looking away too soon is surrender. You will master the gaze not to intimidate the weak, but to unsettle the strong. The more power someone has, the more they notice when someone doesn't flinch. Comment this now if you understand. My eyes do the killing. 5. Weaponizing patience. Impatience is the crack where weakness leaks out. The impulsive man reveals his hand. The restless man bleeds energy. The Machiavellian mind knows this. Time is a weapon, and those who control it control the field. Patience is not passive. Patience is a predator crouching in tall grass, still as death, until the exact second the prey steps into range. You do not move because they want you to. You move when the outcome is certain. Every opponent will try to force your timing. They will provoke you, rush you, corner you into reacting before you are ready. This is the battlefield they want. Fast, sloppy, emotional. Refuse it. Let them burn their energy in flurries of wasted motion. The longer they wait for you to act, the more their own fear grows. And fear makes people reckless. Your silence and stillness become the echo of a clock they can't stop hearing. Patience gives you two advantages: more information and more control. The longer you wait, the more they reveal. Habits, weaknesses, tells they didn't know they had. The longer you delay, the more they shape the fight into one you can win. This is not cowardice. This is war at the speed of inevitability. When you strike, it will feel to them like it came out of nowhere. But in reality, you've been building that moment like a craftsman carving a blade. Never confuse patience with inaction. You are always moving, even in stillness. You are watching, studying, adjusting the trap. Waiting is not doing nothing. Waiting is doing everything. A man who can sit in silence longer than his enemy can breathe without anxiety is already halfway to victory. From this day forward, stop playing on their clock. Force them to play on yours. When you finally act, it will not be rushed. It will not be desperate. It will be final. Comment this now if you understand. I wait, and I win. 6. The shadow reputation. Your most dangerous weapon is not the move you make. It's the story they tell about you when you're not there. The shadow reputation. It's the whispers, the rumors, the half-truths that grow into legends in your absence. You don't build it by screaming about your victories. You build it by letting others wonder what you're capable of. Fear thrives in the unknown, and the less you confirm, the more dangerous you become in their minds. The weak try to manage their reputation by constant explanation, constant defense. They shout their innocence, they list their achievements, they announce their plans. That noise is desperation. You will do the opposite. You will be deliberate in your silence. You will leave gaps in your history, unanswered questions in your actions. You will let them hear only fragments, a victory here, a ruthless decision there, never the full picture. Their minds will fill in the blanks, and what they create will always be more terrifying than the truth. You don't need to crush every opponent physically. Sometimes it's better if they think you already can. The mind is a crueler battlefield than the body. If they believe crossing you will destroy them, they'll work to destroy themselves before you lift a finger. A shadow reputation turns your name into a warning. It makes people hesitate before challenging you. It makes allies respect you without testing you, and it keeps your enemies from sleeping soundly. The trick is never to deny the stories. If they say you're capable of something ruthless, never confirm it, but never laugh it off either. Just look at them the way a storm looks at a coastline. Inevitable, patient, unstoppable. That look alone will be enough for them to believe the story is true. And the beauty is, once they believe it, they'll spread it for you. Your legend becomes self-feeding. You won't have to build it. They'll build it in fear of you. You must understand. Reality matters less than perception in the minds of the masses. You can be the most disciplined, controlled, even merciful person in truth. But if the myth says you are cold and dangerous, that myth will serve you better than your real biography ever could. History remembers tyrants and kings not for the paperwork they signed, but for the aura they carried. You will carry yours like a cloak that no one can tear away. From this day forward, stop explaining yourself. Stop correcting their stories. Stop defending against the whispers. Feed the shadow. Let them fear the silhouette more than the man. Comment this now if you understand. My name walks into the room before I do. 7. The art of denial. Control is not always about what you give. Often, it's about what you refuse. The art of denial is the discipline of withholding attention, approval, information, emotion from those who want it most. Humans are addicts for validation. They crave acknowledgement the way the starving crave food. And when you deny them that, you force them into imbalance. They will work harder, push further, and bend lower just to earn what you will not give. A Machiavellian player understands that giving people what they expect is a surrender of leverage. You must become the one who decides when the cup is filled and when it stays empty. This is not cruelty for its own sake, it's engineering. By controlling the flow of what they desire, you control their behavior. Give them silence when they want answers. Give them stillness when they want reaction. Give them nothing when they want to know everything. Every refusal increases their hunger, and hunger makes them easier to shape. The most potent denial is emotional. The world is built on emotional exchanges, smiles for smiles, anger for anger, warmth for warmth. Break that pattern, and you break their rhythm. When someone insults you and you don't flinch, they lose power. When someone tries to charm you and you give them no recognition, their charm turns inward into doubt. When someone seeks your approval and you offer none, they will come back twice as hard to earn it. And the harder they try, the more you control them. This also works in the larger arena: business, politics, influence. Deny access to your time, your presence, your resources. People value most what they can't have. If you make yourself too available, you lose the aura of importance. If you deny access, you create demand. It's simple economics applied to human nature. Scarcity breeds value. And in the Machiavellian game, value breeds power. The danger is to avoid denial becoming petty. Petty denial looks insecure. Strategic denial looks inevitable. You must do it without spite, without visible effort, as though it's simply the natural order of things. The king does not explain why the gates are closed. They are closed because they are closed. No anger, no apology, just fact. That quiet confidence in your refusals will make people want what you have more than they ever did before. From now on, you will stop giving out your energy by reflex. You will stop handing out your approval like free samples. You will deny with purpose, with calculation, with the understanding that every no is an investment in your own gravity. Comment this now if you understand. I control the gates. I control the game. 8. Controlled disdain. Sometimes you don't need to destroy someone outright. You only need to make them feel smaller every time they stand before you. This is the art of controlled disdain, the ability to diminish another's sense of worth without open confrontation, without insult, without a single raised voice. The power lies in implication, in subtleties so sharp they cut without leaving visible wounds. You do not humiliate loudly. You let them humiliate themselves under the weight of your quiet contempt. Controlled disdain starts with body language. You don't lean toward them. You lean back. You don't hurry your movements. You slow them, as if time bends differently for you. Your eyes do not dance when they speak. You hold them steady, letting their words hang in the air with no visible impact. Every movement says, "You are not important enough to alter my state." It's not about arrogance. It's about hierarchy. You are at the top. They are not, and they feel it before they think it. You must master micro-expressions. A slight narrowing of the eyes, a faint curl at one corner of the mouth, a pause that lasts one beat too long before answering them. These are signals the subconscious reads instantly, signals that tell them you are measuring them and finding them lacking. This is not theatrical disrespect. It's refined, almost surgical in precision. You do it so subtly that they question whether you even meant it, which makes the feeling cut deeper. Words, when used, should be minimal and loaded. Answer questions with the bare minimum required. Let silences follow their statements as if they've said nothing worth acknowledging. Never rush to agree, and never show visible effort to persuade. You are not seeking their approval, they are seeking yours. The imbalance of need is the battlefield you control. In group settings, controlled disdain is magnified. Do not over-engage with the one you wish to diminish. Engage others more warmly, even briefly, so the contrast exposes their lesser standing. Never outright exclude them. Inclusion with subtle neglect is far crueler. It leaves them in the circle but on the edge, close enough to see the warmth they are not receiving. This method is dangerous because it plants seeds of inadequacy, of doubt, of insecurity. Over time, they will start adjusting themselves to win even the slightest shift in your expression. You will have trained them to crave your approval, while also showing them how rarely they'll get it. This is a leash made of thin, invisible wire. They won't even know it's around their neck until they feel it pull. From this day forward, stop wasting your disdain in obvious displays. Learn to dose it like poison, just enough to weaken, never enough to alert. When they can no longer tell whether your indifference is deliberate or natural, you've won. Comment this now if you understand. I diminish without touching. 9. The silence before the strike. There is a reason the moments before a storm are more unnerving than the storm itself. The air thickens. The light changes. Creatures go quiet. Nature itself holds its breath. That is the silence before the strike, and it is more terrifying than the impact. You must learn to wield that same tension in human conflict. Let your enemies feel your movement coming long before it arrives, but never tell them when, where, or how. The essence of this power is anticipation. Anticipation feeds fear. When you delay action, you stretch their anxiety like a wire pulled to breaking point. Every second you wait is another second they imagine a worse outcome than the one you actually plan. People are masters at torturing themselves with what-ifs. You simply provide the stage and then stand perfectly still upon it. Silence before the strike begins with physical control. You must appear calm, almost relaxed, when everyone else expects you to lunge. The more they expect an immediate reaction, the more your stillness unsettles them. In combat, whether verbal, strategic, or literal, the one who acts first is often the one who loses clarity. You will hold, you will watch, you will let them exhaust themselves with preparation for a blow that hasn't yet come. This creates paranoia, and paranoia makes them sloppy. The beauty of delayed action is that it multiplies the power of your eventual move. The longer the bow is drawn, the more force the arrow carries. When you finally strike, it won't just be an action. It will be a release of all the tension you've built in them. They will feel it as an inevitability finally crashing down. And because you controlled the timing, you controlled the narrative of the entire encounter. You can apply this in every arena of life. In business, hold back from revealing your decision until the precise moment it matters most. In personal conflict, let your silence speak longer than their accusations. In competition, keep your decisive move hidden until your opponent is committed to the wrong defense. You become the shadow they can't map, the variable they can't predict, and the unknown is always more dangerous than the known. There is a deeper psychological layer here. By holding back, you make them want the strike, just so they can stop wondering. That's when fear transforms into desperation. They start provoking you, rushing you, trying to force the moment just so the pressure ends. And the moment they do that, you know you've won. Because when they try to force your hand, they've already surrendered control to you. But restraint is the hardest weapon to master. Every instinct will tell you to act, to speak, to prove yourself. You must kill that impulse. The strike should not be driven by emotion, but by precision. Think like an executioner. There is no rage in your action, only certainty. A true predator does not rush the kill. It waits until the prey is exactly where it needs to be. Even in victory, maintain that composure. Do not celebrate loudly. Do not explain the delay. Let them wonder if you planned it from the start, or if it was instinct. That uncertainty will follow them into every future encounter, making them hesitate before standing against you again. They will remember the weight more than the blow. From this moment on, you will treat timing as a weapon sharper than any blade. You will learn to load the atmosphere with your stillness, to let silence stretch until it hums in their bones. And when you do strike, it will not just be an action. It will be the inevitable conclusion to a fear they've been carrying alone. Comment this now if you understand. I let them drown in the weight. 10. Becoming the ghost. The highest form of fear is not what people feel when you stand before them. It's what they feel when you are nowhere in sight. When your absence feels heavier than the presence of anyone else. When your name, your image, your possibility hovers in their mind like a shadow in the corner of the room. This is the final stage, becoming the ghost. To become the ghost, you must understand permanence. A loud man exists only in the moment he shouts. A desperate man exists only when he demands to be seen. But a ghost exists always, because it doesn't need the body to be remembered. You are building something deeper than a presence. You are building an impression so sharp it cuts into memory, so they carry you with them even when you are gone. The first step is to make every interaction count. Not every appearance, but every interaction. When you are in the room, you move with precision. You speak with weight, and you leave before the moment fades. You do not overstay. You do not blend. Every exchange must be deliberate enough that the absence of it feels like a loss. A ghost is felt most when it has departed. You must also cultivate unpredictability. Predictable people can be mapped, planned for, dismissed. Ghosts cannot. Sometimes you are there, sometimes you are not. Sometimes you answer, sometimes you vanish. Sometimes you engage directly, sometimes only through influence that can't be traced back to you. This keeps people looking over their shoulders, scanning for your presence even in empty rooms. They start asking themselves, what would he do? Is he watching? Does he already know? That questioning is the haunt. The ghost does not chase conflict. It creates an environment where conflict comes to it. You've spent the previous stages mastering silence, masking your emotions, controlling presence, feeding shadow, denying, diminishing, waiting. Now you combine all of that into a figure so elusive that opponents begin fighting the idea of you rather than you yourself. They waste energy preparing for threats that may never come, altering their behavior to avoid scenarios you haven't even planned yet. That is power multiplied. In personal dealings, this might mean saying less and letting rumors carry your influence farther than your voice ever could. In leadership, it means shaping the culture so deeply that people act in alignment with your will without you having to enforce it. In conflict, it means that the fear of retribution becomes enough to deter action against you, even if that retribution never comes. A ghost also controls where it appears. Your presence must be surgical, never routine. Appear in moments of high impact, a critical meeting, a pivotal conversation, a decisive turning point, and vanish afterward, leaving your influence echoing through those who remain. Like smoke after a fire, your absence should remind them that you were there and that your presence could return without warning. To become the ghost, you must also detach from the need to be seen. The loud ego will fight this. It wants credit, it wants recognition. But ghosts do not seek applause, they seek effect. Your reward is not in the public acknowledgement of your power, but in the private knowledge that your hand moved the board without anyone watching. That kind of discipline turns you into a force of nature, felt, feared, but never fully known. And here's the most dangerous truth. Ghosts outlast flesh and blood opponents. People can fight a man they can see. They can resist someone they can confront, but they cannot win against what's already inside their mind. Once you've placed yourself there, through precision, patience, and presence used sparingly, you no longer need to stand before them to control them. They carry you with them into every decision, every strategy, every fear. Now, you step beyond the need to act in the open. You are not just a man. You are an atmosphere, a warning, a presence in their thoughts that follows them into empty rooms. That is the ghost, feared even in absence. From this day forward, you will not seek to dominate the visible field alone. You will haunt the invisible one. You will become the story they tell in hushed voices, the figure they prepare for but never see coming. That is the final victory, when they cannot escape you because you live in the one place they cannot defend, their own mind. Comment this now if you understand. I am felt even in absence. And if you've walked through all 10 stages with me, you've already taken the first step toward untouchable power. Like this, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next time you hear me speak, you'll be ready for the next weapon. End.